Hey everybody, it is tea time with the diva. Grab your tea, grab your coffee, because we're gonna get into it. This tea time is dedicated to Jay Z, his lawyers, and to Tony Buzbee. Why? Because both of them are in a dogfight. Tony Buzbee against Jay Z and his lawyers, or Jay Z against Tony Buzbee and his lawyers. Either way, it's a dogfight, and neither party is letting up. But Jay Z team is now firing back yet again. They want the courts to sanction Tony Buzbee because they said he is doing bad lawyering. What lawyer has a client that they never met? Well, they're accusing Tony Buzbee, Jane Doe, the one that's suing Jay Z and Diddy. They're saying Tony Buzbee never met her, and Tony Buzbee admitted he never met her. What kind of lawyer files a case that is so serious and you never met your client? There's something about seeing somebody face to face and they're talking to you. You could tell by their body language whether they're telling the truth, they're lying, or something is amiss. So you take a phone call and I tell you, Diddy did XYZ to me, and so did Jay Z. You, as a lawyer, just say okay. No, if you call your friend, they'd be like, girl, oh my God, that happened to you. I'm so sorry. I can't believe it. Really? Wow. Blah, 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 blah. That's your friend. But as a lawyer, you jot down the information, you believe, but you investigate. And if your investigation connects with what the person said, then you roll with it. You file your case in the court of law. But if something don't add up, you got to tell your client, listen, I 100% believe something happened to you. But based on the fact that I can't pull no evidence together, this is going to be a rough road. I'm sorry. I can't help you. I wish you the best though. But you don't file a case and you never vetted out a client, never saw her face to face or met her. You ain't even do a Zoom call. Come on, Tony. You can't be that dumb. Now, hold on now. Let's go ahead and share screen and get a little bit more into this story. So, Jay Z, why are you filing cases for clients you haven't met, Tony? Where they do that at? So Jay-Z's increasing his calls for a court to sanction Tony Buzbee, the lawyer representing numerous people accusing Diddy of a variety of sexual misdeeds. And Jay's side is blasting him for not even meeting with his client before he filed the complaint. But Buzbee isn't backing down. The rapper's new legal documents in support of his motion were filed earlier this month, asking for sanctions against Buzbee. And in it, Jay Teens points out that Tony now admits he never met with the Jane Doe before suing him, Jane Doe suing him before he signed off on the complaint. You got to be kidding me. Let's listen to this.
Staying on the offensive, going after not only the attorney who filed the rape lawsuit against him and Diddy, that would be Tony Buzbee, the attorney, but also the accuser. And he has filed a new motion this morning, which we're going to get to in a moment. But basically, he wants to level the playing field with the accuser. But first, we got to start with this response that Jay Z had to the allegation. Catch you up real quick if you hadn't heard, but a woman who had filed a lawsuit against Diddy back in October, alleging that he had raped her at a VMA after party in the year 2000 when she was only 13 years old.
Right. Remember, this is when she allegedly was given a drink. She felt woozy, and there was Diddy, and there was a male celebrity who was unnamed at the time, and also a female celebrity.
Well, that unnamed celebrity is now named. She refiled the lawsuit on Sunday. She and her attorney, Tony Buzbee, refiled it and named Jay Z as that unnamed celebrity involved in the rape. Jay Z's response is extraordinary in that, look, we've seen all these lawsuits against Diddy, dozens of them now at this point, and frequently his response has been to deny it, but to say nothing else. Jay Z went way more than just denying it. He did do that, but then went directly after the attorney. Part of his statement said, "My lawyer received a blackmail attempt from a lawyer named Tony Buzbee. It made me want to expose you, Tony Buzbee, for the fraud you are in a very public fashion. So no, I will not give you one red penny." This lawyer, who I have done a bit of research on, seems to have a pattern of these types of theatrics. You claim to be a Marine. Marines are known for their valor. You have neither honor nor dignity. There were other shots at Tony Buzbee in his statement where he called him an ambulance chaser in a cheap suit.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is, and if you've heard Tony Buzbee's name before, it's because seems to always find his way. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but he seems to always find his way into the big case, Charles, right? I mean, if it's Travis Scott, if it's Deshaun Watson, the NFL quarterback, he's always involved.
So Jay Z had that strong response.
Yeah.
Tony Buzbee isn't backing down, and in fact said that he denied that there was any extortion. He said, my client merely reached out and wanted to have a confidential mediation.
Right.
Now, I got to say, I don't know what that confidential mediation would be about other than money.
Right.
But his point is the letter itself did not make any request for money.
Right, though I'm sure that was coming.
Yeah, it sounds like Busby's response was a little bit disingenuous. The confidential mediation would be where they would broker a settlement and not have the issue go public in the way that he did. He also mentioned that Jay Z has sued him. And that got us thinking. There was a lawsuit, an anonymous lawsuit filed against Buzbee alleging extortion.
Back in November, yeah.
That's right. And now Jay Z, in his recent motion that you referenced earlier, has said, yeah, that was me. Because when you sent your demand letters to me, I then went forward, stood my ground with an extortion lawsuit against you. And now if you're going to continue this whole spectacle, I want the accuser's name out there as well. She shouldn't be able to sue me as a Jane Doe. He says, fair is fair. This is a response to, this is retaliation for me standing my ground when you tried to extort me. And now let's just get it all out there.
Right. So the follow the beats here. First, Diddy is sued.
Right.
The unnamed celebrity. And at the time when we covered that, we thought the fact that they didn't name this person sounded like they were probably reaching out to that person to try and get a settlement.
Right.
Jay Z says that is exactly what happened. And when he turned him down, he thinks that the only reason they have now refiled this and put his name in there is retaliation for Jay Z suing Tony Buzbee for extortion. So this is going around and around, but a very strong denial from Jay Z.
It is, and it's look, we've seen, and not just in this Diddy situation, we've seen a lot of cases in the past where celebrities have been accused of wrongdoing. This hardly ever happens, Charles, where you see the person under fire, the celebrity, fire back and this intensely.
Right, back at the attorney and then filing this motion for the accuser.
Right, he is not taking this lying down, clearly.
And look, you're allowed to file documents anonymously, particularly where there's allegations that she was only 13 when this happened. So that's not uncommon to see. But Jay Z now thinks this is an extortionate plot. And he says, in order to unearth all of this and unmask it all, we now need to know the identity of that person. And since it happened in 2000, she's obviously of age now. She's alleging that she was 13 in the year 2000. And he's saying we need to put all our cards on the table. I need to be able to identify my accuser and actually fight this lawsuit on its terms, on its face.
Yeah, I think it would be extraordinary, I think, Derek, if the judge did force the accuser to, this is the really alarming part of this case, is that we're talking about a 13-year-old is the alleged victim, a woman who was at the time 13. And by the way, Tony Buzbee isn't backing down, said that his client remains steadfast in her resolve in this case, that she will not back down and that she is going to continue to seek justice. So it's going to be interesting to see what the judge says here, because we did see the judge demand that in one of the Diddy cases, the accuser be revealed.
It was actually Evander Kane, the NHL star's ex. I understand it, Charles, from the standpoint, it's like, how do you defend yourself? And this is not a criminal case, fine. But how do you defend yourself in a court if you don't know who's making the allegation against you?
That's the argument that Jay Z's making.
Marta from Montreal. I mean, guys, who is really surprised by this, right? I'm not. I don't believe anyone else is. Jay Z and Diddy go way, way back, decades, right? They've been friends since, 1990? That's about 30 years of solid friendship. It was only a matter of time before Jay Z was also accused of such crime. Now, whether it's a plot or not, whether it's true or not, we can all agree that this is the fastest we've seen Jay Z respond to allegations or accusations. He did not take this lightly.
Yeah, and it's very clear he also saw it coming.
Yeah.
Right? Because he knew that he got that demand letter. He had sued Tony Buzbee. This was not something that suddenly popped up on Jay Z's radar.
They were ready.
Yeah.
All right, let's back up here a little bit. So Jay Z is increasing his calls for a court to sanction Tony Buzbee. The lawyer represented numerous people accusing Diddy of a variety of crimes and misdeeds, and Jay's side blasting him for not even meeting his client before he filed a complaint. But Buzbee isn't backing down. The rapper's new legal docs in support of the motion were filed earlier this month, asking for sanctions against Buzbee. And it is in Jay's team points out that Tony now admits he never met with Jane Doe before suing him, and before Jane Doe sued him and he signed off on her complaint. Although Buzbee insists the case was appropriately vetted, Jay's lawyers are hammering him for never actually meeting the Jane Doe before it was filed, which Jay and his side see as a huge lapse in his ethical responsibility. Let's be clear, he does have a higher level responsibility. He is a lawyer. As you know, Buzbee's working with a ton of different clients right now, so it's not totally shocking he hadn't met this particular Jane Doe before, but he's still catching flack over it from Jay's side. Jay-Z team wants the court to sanction Buzbee, claiming he didn't do the bare minimum to investigate his client's claims before she gave a now infamous NBC interview. Not long after the interview aired, the subject of it admitted there were certain mistakes she made while recounting her story. Buzbee tells TMZ this reply to the lawsuit is weak and desperate, stating he did, in fact, personally interview the plaintiff, as did 4 other lawyers. Tony adds anyone who says otherwise has their own agenda. Listen, it's a dog fight. It's nasty. I don't know how this thing is going to pan out, but I do know Jay-Z is not backing down, and neither is Tony Buzbee. Listen, guys, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. Everybody, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts. Jay-Z is coming out. What do they say? Pow pows a-blazing. But Tony Buzbee ain't backing down either. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button. I'll see you in the next video.